going on, guys? So X-Men Days of Future Past is almost upon us. And that got me thinking about mutants, their powers, which ones do I like, which ones are the coolest, which ones do I dream about having? We're gonna talk about that stuff today. And by the way, today's episode is brought to you by Norton, who has teamed up with X-Men to help you take control of your future. We have a really cool panel to talk about all things X-Men with us today. First, he is a writer-director of NTSF SD SUV, the very funny show on Adult Swim, Alex Fernie.
Hey, Al.
She's been with us before, a friend of the show, and you know her from Parks and Rec, Allison Becker.
Thanks for having me back.
He's a great friend of the show, been with us many times, and you know him from many TV commercials. He's all over the place on your TV. Mike Carlson.
Hi, Al.
So guys, this movie, it's chocked full of X-Men. Mike, who are you looking forward to seeing?
I'm looking forward to Iceman because I think we're going to finally get him like on the ice slide, like flying around, which just looks fun.
I'm excited to see Bishop. His power is like if he gets hit with energy, he gets to then shoot that energy out. In the comics in the future, he was like he was branded with an M over his eye for being a mutant. So he comes back from that dystopian future to try and prevent it from happening.
To prevent just the M being put on his forehead, because I feel like as superheroes, they don't really have to. They could just be like,
Yes.
"Oh, let me take this M off."
It's
my
a
forehead.
weird looking M though. If you had an M on your face, you'd be like, oh, what do I have to do to get rid of this M?
Allison, there's no plastic surgeon X-Man.
Well, there should be.
the
Let's
one-
make another X-Men
The
movie.
one power that hasn't been tapped into is a plastic surgeon.
Professor Xavier says,
He's
let's
making everybody
welcome
beautiful."
Dr. 90210.
Exactly.
Who is the most awe-inspiring X-Men to you? Let's just go down the line.
I think for me, it's probably Beast. Because he's both a jock and a nerd. Like, his mutant powers is he can jump around and he's super strong and he can cling to stuff. But his brain is one of the smartest people on the planet. So there's no way, how can you make fun of that guy?
Allison, do you have a favorite X-Men whose power that you think is just like, whoa,
I'm excited
that's cool.
to see Rogue again because I kind of identify, just as a woman, sometimes you're afraid to get too close to people because you can really hurt them. She can steal other people's powers, which is pretty rad.
If we're just talking powers, it's got to be Wolverine.
Yeah.
Because you can heal so fast, and like all these weird aches and pains I feel just like existing would go away.
Oh, man.
What aches and pains? Or do you need to see a doctor?
Yeah, first
Mike
of all,
is
yes.
76 years old, so every day it's a
I love how
journey.
he's not like, when he loses his arm in a fight, he's like, oh, my aches and pains, like Crohn's disease.
If you could be a mutant, what mutation would you want to have?
I think I'd probably want to be Colossus then. Because you get to be normal, just be like a big hunky dude. But then when you need to, you get to be a big metal hunky dude. And like, I mean, that's the best of both worlds there. You're not always metal, but you're always hunky. Like, come on, that's perfect.
Colossus rules. He's so
Yeah.
awesome. He's almost unkillable.
Yeah. And a strong communist.
Nobody's mentioned Quicksilver yet, and I think he has a pretty awesome power because the speed is not only about speed, but it's about like some form of like time travel because you could get to places very quickly, faster than anybody else.
I think that I would pick Blink, who is in this film, who has the ability to teleport with like she has cool pink like javelins she throws, and then like a circle appears and she goes through it. She's a cool elf lady, which is just cool.
Is it super lame if I could pick one X-Men power, I'd probably pick Charles Xavier's power of mind control. And
I don't think it's super lame. I think it's short-sighted because think about all the stuff you think about on a day-to-day basis. And then you have to hear other people think that stuff. I want
but
no
you can
part of one in your
filter
brain.
it, right?
Not always. A lot of times it tends to bleed
It'll
through.
creep in.
all right, let's now go outside the world of the movie and talk about, in the entire X-Men universe, what's like the most coolest, surprising, or odd power?
I'll tell you one that, and like it's kind of in one of the movies. The character showed up, but they never talked about it anymore. When Gambit first showed up,
Yeah.
you can throw exploding cards, but a big part of his mutant power was just charm. He just had a charm power where he could just talk to you and you'd be like, that's a cool dude. I want to hang out with this guy. And you just liked him. That was part of his mutant power. Now they never use that. But for me, if you could just get out of awkward social situations by just being like, this is who I am and I can throw cards. It'd be
That
like,
would be an amazing.
great. Every party would be so much less stressful.
Also, you could pretty much, I mean, there's protection right there. You could get out of anything.
Yeah.
There was Cypher, who his power is he can just understand and speak all languages.
Also, that's not a power necessarily. That's like, just read some books.
Like, there's a guy that
Rosetta
works at the
Stone.
UN. There's a
Exactly.
real man who works at the UN
Exactly.
that has, like, that same mutation.
I'm going to say from the comics Domino, because she was just lucky. One of her powers was just luck. So like parking spaces, like I'd get every commercial audition I ever auditioned for.
I think you already do.
Yeah, you do.
I could do better. I could do a lot better.
So which of the X-Men would you be? Find your mutant match at norton.com/X-Men. I want to thank my awesome panel for coming down here and just having a nice time talking about mutants. Alex Fernie, Allison Becker, Mike Carlson.
Excelsior.
Thanks for watching. I'm Hal Rudnick. Hit me up on Twitter. Bye-bye. Frankenstein.
Not a monster.
They call him Frankenstein's monster.
Well, that's what the villagers
Yeah.
called him. But at the end of the day, if he woke up and they just had like episodes of Seinfeld ready to go for him, and he just sat him in the corner and just relaxed, his impulse wouldn't have been to get up and kill somebody.